Hey, thanks for dropping in. I'm Robert, and today on Dinner by Dad, we're going to take these and kick them up a notch with the help of these. Let's get going. Alright, we can get the walnuts out of here for now because we need to work on these chops first. These are boneless loin chops. You can swap in bone in if you want, but these are what I got. And I want to dry brine them. Ideally, this would be done the night before, but I don't have that long. They've already been patted dry, and I'm going to hit them with salt on both sides. Once that's done, I'll leave them uncovered in the fridge for as long as I can. In today's case, that's only about 2 hours. However, that should still be enough time for the salt to penetrate the meat at least a little bit and season the inside of the chops. Now that that's done, we can prep the gremolata, and that starts with toasting some walnuts. Now, gremolata doesn't normally have walnuts, so this is obviously a deviation. I've got my pan on low heat, and I'll sprinkle in the nuts. I'll let them warm through just until they darken a bit in color and give off a roasty smell. That'll only take a few minutes, and I've got to watch them carefully to make sure they don't burn. Alright, these look done. To make gremolata is actually really simple. First, I'm going to roughly chop the walnuts we just roasted. As I said a second ago, this is not a traditional ingredient in gremolata. However, this past weekend I went to the store to buy some walnuts to make a pesto. Of course, I get there and they didn't have any small packs, just these giant bags. I didn't feel like driving around searching for a tiny bag of nuts, so I ended up with a big bag. I've spent the days since trying to think up recipes that I could throw walnuts into, and here we are. Okay, these are small enough, they can go into a bowl. Next, I'll run my knife through a nice handful of fresh parsley. Italian, of course. And those go into the same bowl. Now, 1 clove of garlic, finely chopped. This one's actually quite big, so it could probably count as 2. That's okay, I'm Filipino. In the bowl it goes. And finally, some fresh mint. Just a few leaves, not enough to make the gremolata minty or anything like that. And you can leave it out if you want, but I really love the freshness mint adds. The easiest way I've found to slice a small quantity of mint, or basil, or really any leafy herb, is to bundle the leaves together and roll it up. Then you can just run your knife through it in what's called a chiffonade. And into the bowl. Of course our gremolata is going to need seasoning, so we'll hit it with some salt and freshly cracked pepper. And it's going to need a little acid, so a squeeze of lemon juice. And finally, some extra virgin olive oil. How much is up to you. Personally, I like my gremolata chunky and not too wet so that it can be kind of dotted onto the plate. So I'm not adding too much. If you want it runnier like an actual sauce, go ahead and add more oil. Maybe just a bit more oil. Now a taste. It's got that herby bitterness from the parsley. Pleasant, not overwhelming at all. The walnut gives it a beautiful crunchy texture. The garlic gives heat, and the lemon and mint just lifts everything up. It's almost there. Just one last splash of olive oil and one more good mix, then this can be set aside until we're ready to serve our pork. Alright, it's been a few hours, time to cook the pork. For that, we're keeping it really simple. I've got some veg oil heating up in my pan, and I gave the chops another dab with paper towel to make sure they're nice and dry. I also seasoned them with freshly cracked pepper. They'll go in for 3 or 4 minutes. Now to flip them over and give them another 3 or 4 minutes, or until they reach an internal temperature of about 140 F. At that point, carryover cooking should bring them to our target temperature of 145 F, which is the sweet spot for chops that are juicy, delicious, and just slightly pink in the middle. We're getting close, so I'm just getting some color on the edges. And these can come out. I've got another pair of chops I still have to cook, so I'll catch you again in a second. Okay, the chops are done, and I also cleaned the oil from the pan. Because I hate wasting good fond, that's the dark stuff stuck to the bottom of the pan, I'm going to deglaze it with a little splash of apple juice. And just a tiny hit of apple cider vinegar so things don't get too sweet. I'll let this come to a simmer and reduce it by about half until it's thickened and slightly syrupy. Like this. I messed up and I didn't get it on camera, but I also seasoned the sauce with some salt and freshly cracked pepper. Now it's time to try it. Fantastic. Sweet, slightly tangy, it'll complement the pork and gremolata perfectly. It's time to plate it up. And here we go. Pan-seared pork chops sitting in a delicious pool of pan sauce. And we're going to top the entire thing pretty generously with dollops of bright, crunchy gremolata. Just like that. This dish has everything. It's meaty, it's savory, it's sweet, it's got some tang, there's a variety of textures. Overall, it's a beautiful plate of food, if I say so myself. I can't wait to eat it. But before that, the flyby. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, and leave a comment while you're at it. Whether it's about this dish, this channel, a suggestion on what else I can make with walnuts, or even just say hi. Thanks again. Until next time.